I ran upstairs, my heart hammering against my chest. I should have known that it wasn't Amy that had fallen. The noise was far too quiet to be heavy enough to be a person. But at the same time, the only thing on my mind was panic. I rounded the corner into my room and looked around anxiously. My eyes darted around in search of whatever had fallen, whatever had made that noise. But I saw nothing. Nothing looked out of place. The only thing different was that Amy had moved from the chair and to the floor, where she now sat cross-legged with her back turned to me. I almost let out a sigh of relief. But then I saw it, upon the top shelf of my bookcase, where I kept my Stephen King novels, was a missing book. Had this happened any other day, I would have assumed that Amy was sitting on the floor and reading one of my books. I knew she wasn't, though, because the book that was missing was lying a foot away from her on the ground. My toes turned numb and face drained of color when my brain finally registered what was happening. She was reading the notebook, the green one. "What the hell are you doing?" A voice I didn't recognize as my own boiled up and out of my throat. Amy jumped and turned around to face me. Her face was a deep, dark orange when she saw me, and her eyes were glimmering with stars. But I was far too pissed off to notice. The only thing I saw then was my notebook lying sprawled out and open on the carpet where she had been sitting. My palms went numb and cold when I saw what page she was on. I stormed over to the notebook and took it up from its place on the floor. Blood rushed into my cheeks as I turned to look at her. The pink hedgehog had a look on her face I could not identify. Shock, fear, and sudden understanding. I looked away from her and turned on the notebook. The green cover seemed to mock me with its presence. Ever since Rouge had found it, it had been nothing but trouble. My hands balled into fists and crushed into the papery flesh. "Don't tear it up," the whispering, shy voice of Amy begged from the corner. I shot her a glare. She looked at me with wet viridian jewels. Her lips trembled as she confessed, "I had no idea that I..." My fury fizzled and hissed until it died and was replaced with concern and repentance. I had just yelled at her. Worse still, I swore at her. I swallowed my leftover anger and took a shuddering breath to calm myself. I let one hand fall to my side as I used the other to hold my journal out to her. "Why did you read this?" She sniffled. "I didn't mean to." Her small hands gestured to the shelf. "I was looking at your books. I saw one that I liked." "Then your notebook fell out." There was ungodly silence as I took a moment to process this information. She knew. She knew everything now. There was no more secrets, no more pretending that all I wanted to be was her friend, because now she knew. Every poem I had written, every thought I had, every time I wrote "I love you," she knew about it. Damn it all. Damn it all. Damn it all. I frowned and looked half-heartedly at the notebook that had once been a secret to everyone but me. Then I tossed the thing aside and sat down on my bed. Amy stood quietly in the corner, watching me, wondering what to make of me. I suppose I could just come out and say it now, couldn't I? So I did just that. "Amy," I said, "I fell in love with you, okay? Honest to God, I tried not to, but I did. I know you love Sonic. I know you think of me as just a friend, all right? But I'll just say it now, so that no one can ever tell me I missed my chance." I stood from the bed and simply stood there for a minute, looking at the floor. Then I walked over to her, unconsciously pinning her against the wall with my presence. She held her hands tentatively oh my god, tentatively in front of her chest, and I could hear her heart pounding as I pressed my body against her. Or maybe that was me. I don't know. "I love you, Amy Rose," I confessed. We stood there for what felt like no less than hours on end, staring into each other's souls. I didn't kiss her. I didn't pull off her glasses and make love to her. I didn't take off a mask and admit I was a vampire. I just stood there and waited for her answer. Amy's panting breaths were hot on my face, but I didn't mind. Her eyes were hell to look into now, but I kept looking inside of them, and her voice hurt to hear, but I listened anyway. "I don't know," she breathed. I don't know what to think. I nodded weakly. Neither did I. Then she did something I didn't expect her to do. She inched one of her hands up to her nose, using her fingers to find the edges of the bandages. Her nails dug beneath the adhesive and peeled away the white strip until I could see her blackening, bruised nose. She let the bandage fall to the floor and then looked me in the eyes. I leaned forward and softly kissed her injury out of pure instinct, and she blushed as I did so. Then she kissed back. Our lips met, and I could feel my heart ignite into a roaring flame. I took her by the shoulders and took the kiss deeper. Her jacket fell to the floor, leaving her clad in a black t-shirt and jeans. She approached me and forced me to back away until I fell onto my bed. Crawling towards me, she followed me and kissed me as I lay on my back. Her glasses were foggy and clouded with the heat of our breath, and I could barely make out her eyes behind the lenses as she stared at me longingly. Amy's hand moved to the hem of her shirt as though to remove it, but I stopped her with my own hand. No matter how much I thought I wanted to see her naked, I knew that it wasn't right to take advantage of her feelings like that. Her eyes told me she understood, and I sat up to kiss her, so that the temptation of sex was farther away. Never let it be said that Shadow the Hedgehog isn't a gentleman. That part makes me smile all the time. Anyway, that was good. I liked it, of course. I'm sorry about this being a little late. School's just been hell so far. I mean, I like it. Takes everything away from me. My free time. This is only 7 minutes, so I might as well just talk a little bit. I was gonna say that this chapter was very heartwarming. I loved it. Shadow's such a good guy. Ooh, and Stephen King rules, or Stephen King rules. I love his movies. Oh, my mom is reading the books. And just to say, my favorite Stephen King would have, like, the one I watch all the time would probably have to be Carrie. Then I like Cujo. And, The Shining. I love the part when the dad's like, he... See, I'm rambling right now, but okay. It's just me. I'm just using the 7 minutes that I have now. We're in 8. Oh, Misery was scary too. Oh my god, it was creepy. Well, I think I'm gonna make a video talking about like to do live streams with my sister. Well, not live streams, but streams with my sister. What? Yeah, I might do that someday. After I read the story. Okay. Yeah. Carly's over and out. Bye, guys. Maybe do another one tomorrow.